Hey guys, this is Matt from Upslun Mining, and today's video we're going to talk about whether it's a better idea to go for a higher end card like a 3090 or for a lower end card like a 6600 XT but get more of them for the same hash rate. Let's get into it. First guys, let's make some coffee here. I don't know about you guys, but I prefer the old-fashioned just drip coffee at home. Simple, easy, cheap. It's almost like a long forgotten art, just making coffee in a regular coffee machine. What do you guys think? Comment below. Tends like a lot of people like to use these days. A lot of people like to use like Tassimos or Keurigs and all that. But honestly, like I wouldn't say I'm a thrifty guy, but I like to think that I'm at least like relatively conscious about like how I'm spending my money, and spending like, I'm not sure what it'll be, probably 30-40 cents a cup. Could be less depending if you get them in bulk. But yeah, I don't know. A brief diversion from today's main topic. So let's get back to the GPUs. That's enough about coffee. Hey guys, today's video, should you be going for a beefy GPU rig like this, which has 3090s? Or is it smarter to go for something like this, which is a 6600 XT rig? Not too bad, guys. I'd say it's better than Starbucks because it was way cheaper. Okay, anyways, let's get into the video here. Today's video, we're going to talk about an interesting topic that I thought about myself as well. Even when I started out mining, I didn't really think about this, but over time I started to realize certain things about higher end cards, more powerful cards, in contrast to less cards, but more efficient cards. Now, if you're new to mining, the first thing you'll go to, if you go to whattomine.com here, okay, so where is it here? GPUs. Let's go to that. We're going to the main list of GPUs. Okay. If you go to whattomine.com, and as a new person looking at this list, I could see how it would be easy to think that the best card that you can get is the RTX 3090 Ti, or as it was a few weeks ago, the 3090. And why was it the best card to get? Clearly, it's got to be the best card to get because look, it's making $4.28 a day or $4.98 a day. Yeah, that's great, but that's looking at surface level details. So what this video is trying to do is dispel and maybe just open your eyes and to look at the situation a little bit differently, and how maybe going for these higher end cards are not the best option for you. It really depends. Obviously, no financial advice, but this is what my opinion is on it. Okay, so if we look at so for the purposes of this video, we're focusing on a comparison between one 3090, RTX 3090, and four 6600 XTs, AMD. Now, I know it doesn't make a lot of sense because it's not AMD or just NVIDIA, but essentially what this video is stating is that a 3090 is about equal to four 6600s. Okay, so let's take a look here. So 497 per day on a 428 on a 3090. And if we looked up a 6600 XT, which is way down here on the list, we're making $1.25 a day. Okay, so $1.25 a day. And this is making 428 a day. So obviously $1.25 times 4 is 425. So you would need roughly 4 in order to just match the output of one 3090. Otherwise, you'd have to go to two 3090s for the comparison to work. So 6600 XTs is essentially the equivalent of one 3090. Now you might be saying, well, okay, let's just get the one card, because if I get the one card, it's one card to overclock, one card to manage, one card to worry about, one card to buy. Okay, and that's great. But let me just turn here to a state-of-the-art notepad comparison, which basically kind of compares the two. Now, I pulled these numbers out over a couple days ago, so they might be a little bit off from what's exactly what to mine, but just for the purposes of this video, let's go through that, what I have here. So one RTX 3090 will get you roughly, this is according to what I have on my HiveOS. Let's go over here to HiveOS, and we're gonna open up my 3090 rig. I thought this rig was the cat's tits, basically, when I first started out. It's like this rig's all I need because it's so powerful. But let's take a look at this. So 13090, I was getting 125.2 at the maximum a couple days ago, so we are at 125.2. Yep, and that's pulling 314 watts. So we're gonna forget wall meters right now. We're just gonna use the software, and we're gonna assume that the differences in the real life at the wall power versus the power in the software is relative, which means if it's going to be wrong by 15% on this rig, it's going to be roughly wrong by 15% on the other rig. There could be some margin of error, but let's just go for that for now. So 125.2 mega hash at 314 watts in the software for the 3090. That gives us an efficiency of 0.39 mega hash per watt. If you don't know how to do that, that is simply the mega hash you're getting, the hash rate, divided by the power usage. For easy comparison, I'm not going to do this for Flux, Ergo, UTC, everything else. We're just going to go for Ethereum right now, and we're just going to assume that, which is not, might be incorrect, but we're going to assume that the performance is going to be relatively correlated to how it'll perform on other algorithms as well. Now, I know it might not be 100% correct, but let's go for that for now. That's our assumption for this test. Okay, so there we go. 409 USD per day at 11 cents per kilowatt hour, which is what I'm paying in Canadian dollars. A 6600 XT, okay, on the contrast, gets you 31 mega hash. So right off the bat, you're thinking, most newbies might be thinking, looking at this, oh wow, obviously the 3090 is a better card, right? Okay, it's cheaper. Sorry, it may cost more, but look at the hash rate, 125. Man, I want that one. That's the beast. It's like, give me the muscle car. Give me the most powerful Lamborghini GPU out there. But this is not a car where you just have one car, one Lamborghini to show for it. This is a team effort. Your farm is a team effort. I'll get to that in a second. The 6600 XT, 31.2 mega hash at 57 watts. This gives you efficiency of 0.55 mega hash per watt, which means for every watt you're using, you're getting more mega hash. And essentially for every mega hash, it's going to cost you less. So per mega hash, you can do a calculation like per mega hash, what the watt, how many kilowatt hours. Usually it'll probably be a fraction. So essentially, the profitability profitability on that. Let's do this again. I think I got the number wrong there. So the 6600 XT, let's do it in here. On what to mine, and we'll punch in a 31.2 on ET hash, and we're going to assume the software 57 watts. Now this is one of the most efficient cards next to the 6600 and 82,000. So we're going to put those numbers through. And Ethereum, that gives us $1.23 per day. Okay, so $1.23 per day, not $1.29, $1.23. Okay, so as you can tell, you would need 4 of those to hit the 409 and probably beat it by a little bit. Okay, so let's go for our comparison chart here. So 4 6600 XTs will equal 228 watts. So if you run them all, 228 watts, and this adds up to 124.8 mega hash at a cost of roughly, if I look on, I think it was CanadaComputers.com, I was comparing the price of these cards. $24.76 for 4 of these guys, Canadian dollars. Okay, do the conversion if you guys are in the States, which most of you probably would be. Let's just do it right now for you. Let's see, $24.76 to USD. Okay, so that's $19.69 for 4 of those. So we'll go, yeah. Okay, $19.69 US and $23.99. 1908. Okay, so 1908 US. Okay. These are Okay, so this is a rough comparison based on the prices I got in CanadaComputers.com. You can check it out. This is when on the date. Okay, so what you got to notice here is you got to take in, and I'm not gonna do all the math here, but it'll be clear what I'm trying to explain. 6600 XTs requires no pads. Okay, so let's get into that. You don't need to replace thermal pads because each GPU is taking less energy. Okay, you got to think of this like a heater, right? If you have a 1,000-watt space heater or a 2,000-watt space heater, obviously the 2,000 watts would use more power, but it's not just about the power. You're getting more heat, right? So that you're going to run more watts through one card, one physical thing within a given amount of physical space in the universe, number of molecules, I guess, or atoms. That's going to generate more heat output than if you spaced out the same wattage, or in this case even less, across 4. So therefore, the 3090 does have thermal throttling issues. Yes, of course, you have to replace the pads on it, so that's at least $100 extra on top of the base price. Okay, so right there, I mean, you can kind of see, okay, well, that makes more sense. The only downside is, well, let's get into the pros and cons. So the pros for the 3090, density. You can fit more cards in one physical space. Okay, so you have only so much room in your house or in your area that you want to mine. You can jam pack 125 mega hash into just a space this big, right? To jam pack the same space of 6600 XTs, you require more space, clearly, okay? So another pro, have more hash rate per card. At this point, we're not even saying there's a cost benefit anymore because, like I said, the cost is actually a little better in your favor to get the cheaper cards. Now, they're not cheaper because they're less quality or they're not as good. They're simply a lower end card, meaning you don't need to put so much hash rate through one card. I'll get to that in a second as well. The cons for 3090, memory throttling. You're pushing over 300 watts of power through a 3090. Okay, because you're overworking one set of chips, one circuit PCB, everything, one fan, one heatsink. You're trying to get everything out of one. So obviously the heat goes up and you get memory throttling issues, which is a common problem. And when you start spacing them together, like I have in my 3090 rig downstairs, each one starts, the heat from one gets to the other one and it starts, so I'm just gonna close the window real quick. I have the windows open because it's hot in here from all the mining. They get close together and the heat from one 3090 spreads to the next 3090 and it causes more thermal issues, so you gotta have a lot of fans, right? So the heat, each card gets very hot due to more wattage running through it, okay? As I just explained, it's a law of thermodynamics. The more energy put in the system, it's gotta dissipate in the form of heat, okay? It's like a high-powered car, right? That you require a bigger radiator. The bigger your engine, I work in cars for years. The bigger the engine, if it's turbocharged, if it's supercharged, that heat, or to get that more power out of one engine, you have to have a lot of systems in place to handle the dissipation of that heat. Otherwise, you can seize your engine up, you can overheat your engine, your radiator. You need a bigger radiator in most cases. You need oil coolers. You need oil coolers, oil that runs through the turbos and everything, and coolers everywhere to keep everything nice and cold. You need ventilation on the front of the hood and on the brakes if you're stopping. The more performant any machine is, the more measures you need to mitigate the extremes from actually damaging that machine, whether that be a GPU or a car. Like I said, unstable when hot. I'm experiencing this right now. They get hot, and quite frankly, my 3080 and 3090 rigs crash more than any other rig, and it's very annoying because when those rigs crash, it's not 200 mega hash. It's like, Houston, we're down 700 mega hash. It's like, literally, we're down 700 mega hash. I'm like, damn it. And if you're not home, you gotta wait it out till you get home to restart the rig manually sometimes. Never had those problems with the 6600s. They mostly run for weeks on end, super stable. Another issue, since you require more power, you need more beefier power supply and power delivery. So you need to make sure your wires are low gauge wires, which means they're thicker in the center. Hobbyist did a video on using proper wires. So the more power you're pushing through a wire into a GPU, the more high quality, I guess the more diligent you have to be about making sure you have quality wires in place to power them. Okay, so if one card dies, 125 mega hash is down. same kind of thing. The whole rig crashes 700 mega hashes down or 500 mega hashes down, and it's high maintenance. So because of all this, yeah. So actually, let me step back to number five here on the power again. So because you need more beefier wires, you need a more beefier power supply. So you might be able to run 6600s off a single rig using an 1000 watt power supply, or even 850 watts, depending if you want to push it. Versus if you run just 6 3090s, I have two 1300 EVGA because I don't want to take the chance on those cards. You know, basically, if one blows up, you know, there's some issue with the power, there's a surge or a short, you're losing like $2,000-3,000 versus, you know, a few $100 for another card. So the risk is higher. So I'll say higher cost. So there's higher cost to maintain it, higher cost to support that, and you get more for it, of course. But like a super powered race car, you're gonna pay for it. And is it really worth it? I mean, what's your end goal here, right? Is your end goal to have a really powerful race car to get to the store, or is your goal just to get to the store efficiently and left with as much money and capital as possible and less frustration? You know, I've had some crazy cars, like a turbocharged CRX years ago, and the car just didn't run right. It was issues with compression. There's a lot of tuning involved. You have to get these things tuned, just like a car. And just like a car, they have to be precise and tuned a certain way. Otherwise, you're gonna run into problems. I'd rather just have my Nissan Leaf, which is super efficient. It runs on, it's electric, for crying out loud, and it has no maintenance, no oil. It's not a super powerful car, but it's very good to work, and it does everything I need, and it meets my goals. Right? There's no need to be fancy. If there's 3090s, I don't know. Let's talk more about the 6600s though. So the 6600 XTs, you can put them right in your rig out of the box. From my experience, you don't require any thermal pads. Don't waste your time pulling them apart, putting thermal pads in until you have some major problems. Maybe a few GPUs might give you some issues, but for my part, I have over 35, probably 40 6600 or 6600 XT GPUs running right now. Not a single one required thermal pads or repasting. Very good cards. Stable and easy to overclock. Once you get them locked in, they run stable. This rig here has been up for 20 hours. This is a 3090 rig. 20 hours, okay? Because it crashed and I had to keep restarting it when it got a little warmer yesterday. But if I look at one of my 6600 XT rigs, let's look at this one, rig 9. Okay, we're gonna compare that 6600 XT rig. Of course, it pulls out less mega hash. This one's only been up for 2 days. Oh yeah, because I had a power outage, that's right. But in most cases, these things would run for literally a week or 2 or 3 weeks, like straight up, no problems. And even when it gets hot down there, these cards keep chugging along like nothing. Beautiful, beautiful. This is like the Toyota Corolla, okay? This is like the Toyota Corolla of mining. Doesn't give you any problems, but you know it's gonna work. It's gonna get you where you need to be, right? Which is lots of coins in your wallet, hopefully, and less electricity costs or less gas costs. I mean, just like that. I mean, back to the car analogy. A 3090 is like a high-powered sports car too, right? Like I have a 370Z. That thing's completely decked out, and you need to put premium gas in. That's another thing. So it costs more to fuel it. Just like the hydro for the 3090, it costs more to fuel it. You get more performance, but everything's more expensive, like an expensive car. Okay, so let's go back here. So 6600 XT, higher efficiency, more hash rate per watt. Yeah, so you actually get more gas mileage per gallon. Mileage per gallon. Yeah, miles per gallon. So it's like a car again. Once again, a 3090 uses a crap ton of energy, just like a crap ton of gas, like a high-powered Mustang or race car might use. But it's only going to get you so far. This, like the Prius, baby. Okay, so it uses hardly any electricity, and it gets you where you need to go. Maybe not flashy way, but it gets you there in a great way. There's a reason people like buying Corollas, Honda Civics, you know, these efficient cars, because they're reliable. Not a lot of people are driving around in a Mustang or a Lamborghini to get groceries, right? Think about that for a second. Okay, let's talk about the cons, which I don't think are that bad. The 6600 XT density is not good. Requires 4 to produce one 3090. That is true. You get less hash rate per card. which is the same as basically, I just said this the same way 3 ways. So it requires more cards to obtain the same hash rate as 3090, right? So, I mean, if you don't have an extra, like, I don't know how many cubic inches of space, maybe you want a 3090, but you're gonna run all these other problems. And even the economics work out right now. You can get 4 of those 6600 XTs for 13090. I know right now I've really built out a lot of 6600 XT rigs. These are all rig 9s, 6600 XT, running 8 cards. We have rig 10 running 8 as well. So there's like 32 6600 XTs, plus I got 8 more 6600s, which is actually an even more efficient card. You get less hash rate though, only 28 per card. Where is that one? Rig, I think it's rig 11. Yeah, 6600. These are power colors. So yeah, I'm running 8 of these guys, pulling 231.2 mega hash. This whole thing only pulls about 500 watts at the wall, roughly. Around 500. Yeah, this is a little bit off. 28.8. Yeah. So these are great cards. Never problem. This thing was running forever. Like, I had this thing running forever for the power outage, which I'll get to in another video. I basically tripped the entire house. 100 amp breaker. I'll create a video about that at some point. So there you go. There you guys have it. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you like to get the 3090s because you like the flashiest, most powerful car on the street, using the car analogy? And you want that, quick, 0 to 60 times, quarter-mile times. You want like 9-second quarter-mile. This is like ludicrous mode. It's not even ludicrous mode because that's still electric. It's efficient. It's like NASCAR, IndyCar, like high-powered GTR, turbo GTR that just drinks gas mode, just gets you there really fast. Or do you like the Toyota Corolla that's nice, slow, and steady, but you get a couple of them and it gets you there like that? My preference has been leaning towards those lower-end cars because not only the prices are coming down, but you can't beat it for all the different reasons I brought up right now. Anyways, guys, I hope you really like this video. Please leave a comment below, like, and subscribe to the channel, and I will continue to create new videos for you guys. I try to create a video every other day at least right now. Really trying to put some effort into growing the channel. I really appreciate your time in checking out the content. If there's anything you'd like to see or change about the layout of the videos, please feel free to comment below. I'm really excited to see what you guys have to say about that. And also, please check out our sponsor above, flowdynamics.ca, which coincidentally is also me. I am a software developer, so I built this voice chatbot platform. So if you guys have a business, or someone that's running a business and you're interested in automated chat interaction, please go free, check it out. We offer a free trial, and it's a pretty cool platform. So anyways, guys, really love the fact that you're here watching with me today, or watching me today. Anyways, like and subscribe. Until next time, talk to you later, guys.